common law separation. So this is a whole tangled ball of yarn that we have to untangle here. So first, what is common law relationships? Common law relationships existed where there was no legislation in our province, Alberta, for dealing with people who are living together but not married. There was no legal rule set out by the government, and so without it, the court said, well, in this situation, it would be inequitable, it wouldn't be fair to not give them a right to something. So for instance, if a person was together for 30 years and maybe gave up work to raise children, then the court said, they're not married, but they should have some rights, so we're going to make common law rules. We're going to have court interpreted and defined rules that give rights to people who aren't married. So we call them common law relationships because it comes through the common law for court decisions and not legislation, and common law separation is those relations that break down. Now, a couple of years ago, the laws, I won't say changed, but came into existence. So the Alberta government said, we need legislation to say how these relations are managed. We now call them adult interdependent relationships. So they're relationships between people that are interdependent, they're intertwined, but they're not legally married. The act that just came into force then gives rights to people who are living together but not married, and the rights are very, very similar to those of people who are married in a traditional marriage relationship. Now, under the Act, the Adult Interdependent Partners, and we nickname them APE, A-I-P, not A-P-E. So these adult interdependent partners are in a relationship. If they're together for more than 3 years, then that triggers that they now fall under the Act in terms of property and asset and debt division. If the people have a child together, then that 3 years is not necessary. It's as soon as you have the child together that you're deemed to be an adult interdependent partner and the rules apply to you. Now, again, the rules set out are basically exactly the same as people who are married. If you are not married and you are not together for 3 years, there are still some common law rules that may apply to you. So for instance, if you move in with someone and you spend the first 6 months of your relationship putting $100,000 of work into their home, and then they say, thanks for the work, see ya, you might have a claim against them for unjust enrichment. And this is one of the rules that the courts had come up a long time ago, but are still active today. So if you are in this situation, you want to make sure that you talk to a lawyer to find out what your rights are. Don't sign anything until you've determined what your actual rights are and you know your legal position. We always recommend buy an hour of a lawyer's time. There's no further obligation. You can buy that hour of time just to determine what are my rights, what should I do, what should I not do in this situation. And one, it's going to keep you out of trouble, but more important, it gives you some assurance and reassurance and makes the whole situation less stressful, because let's face it, the end of a relationship, no matter how good or bad it is a very stressful time, and you don't want to make bad choices that have lasting financial or other effects on you. In terms of process, again, talking with a lawyer to make sure you know your position, and then we usually negotiate a separation agreement that sets out all the rules, and while there are rules in place that the government sets out, you can negotiate with that back and forward a little bit, so it doesn't have to follow the rules. You have that choice to do if you want to. Now, again, if you're in a relationship with someone, you're not married, and it ends, make sure you know what your rights are to protect yourself and your family.